Hey, what's going on, good people? It's your boy, James Harris. Of course, Mental Heal. Listen, Mental is a movement to get men back focused on the overall wellness, that mental health, physical health, and of course, that emotional health. And I'm also the author of a book called Man, Just Express Yourself, which is an interactive planning guide for boys and men to better express themselves. You can get that on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, Target, Walmart, pretty much anywhere books are sold, including my website. While you're on my website, be sure to grab a copy of my board game, Cheesy Dates, which is a fun interactive board game for couples, adult game nights. 2 different card decks. One card deck is full of questions, spontaneous date ideas. The other one is questions that you should ask throughout your relationship. Make sure you're on the same page. And it also comes with pawn pieces and dice. So hurry over to the website and grab your copy of that. Also, can you please like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel? So much great information. I definitely appreciate y'all helping me get monetized over a year ago. But the work is not done. Some people still need this information. Appreciate it. All right, so today we're going to talk about career vitaes versus resumes. So if you're in a professional setting, you might need this information. I'm in a couple of Facebook groups and I've seen this topic as a recurring thing. So we're going to talk about it. So, of course, as you get into your career, the professional side of it, your resume get to be a little bit more extensive. So that's when you move into the CV, the curriculum vitae, or the career vitae, however you want to say it. So employees in certain industries may require a CV as part of your application instead of a resume. So if you work in academia, education, you're doing science or research or law, all of those different career fields may ask for something a little bit more in depth. That's a CV. So a CV is typically longer, and the traditional resume is not as short. And it might include additional sections such as research topics, your different publications, your professional associations, because if you did a master's or a doctorate, of course you did probably research, you probably belong to some organizations, you probably published some stuff. So all of those things need to be highlighted. You probably even look for grants. Also on the CV, it's common to be more than 2 pages, 2 to 3 dependent. And of course, if you're my age, you was told the resume has to be 1 page, has to get to the point and stuff like that. The difference between a resume and a CV is it also includes, again, the different length of the content that you have. So it's okay to be a little bit more expansive in your CV. A resume should be concise and curated to collect your professional experience basically, and your qualifications, and strictly to the relevant topics of that specific job. So if you're applying for a job to be a cashier, you want to talk about your cashier experience. You're talking about, if you want to apply to a job in retail, then talk about your retail experience. So if you want to apply to a job in a therapist, then talk about your therapy experience. But also, with the CV, is extensive to all your history, and everything will connect based on the work that you're doing, because now everything is qualifying. So pretty much that's one of the differences, or some of the key differences. And, the CV is more comprehensive. The presentation at its depth, the history of your professional, and the academic credentials and accomplishments. Like, you want to make sure that you boasting on yourself. And I know a lot of people don't like talking about themselves, but this is a good way for you to do that, especially if you apply to like major companies or companies who have solid reputations. You want to show them that you belong there as well. And a lot of people in the professional setting already have like imposter syndrome, so they don't feel that they belong there anyway. Nah, you belong there. So make sure you're doing what you got to do on your CV. So when people get to that 3rd or 4th notch, they see like, oh man, this person been doing a lot. Like, they just graduated, but they done already did XYZ. So on the CV, you want to make sure that you got your contact information, your name, your address, your phone numbers, email address. So make sure your email address is a professional one, like a current, up-to-date one, not the Hotmail that you had when you was in high school. With that wild name, probably, switch that. Next, you want to make sure that you have like an intro paragraph to discuss why you feel that you're qualified. So not so much of a bio, but, hey, I'm James Harris. The purpose of this is to get me in the field to assist blah, blah, blah. Just exaggerate on why you want to be here pretty much. You want to list your academic history. So if you got a master's, I don't think it's really important now to add your high school. I would say start a bachelor's to that master's or above. But some people still got that high school on there, so it's up to you. It's taking up space, to be real with you, but it's up to you. And make sure you do put the titles, the dates of the degrees that you earn, even the school, all that's important. And then you want to move to your professional experience because that's definitely important. So include the organizations you worked at, your job titles, the dates, the employments, and these are summaries of your work experience and your achievements. While I was working for the Department of Defense, I got this award. Or when I was working at this therapist place, I did XYZ. So you're detailing what you did at these things. I did assessments. I did intake documents. I did suicide risk assessments. You're highlighting those things opposed to just one page in it like the resume. Also, you want to put next, your qualifications and your skills. So list a combination of hard and soft skills that you've adapted throughout the years. After you put those hard and soft skills, you want to definitely move on to the awards and the honors. So that's a little bit different than the resume. Resumes typically don't have those. So for each award, you want to drop the name of it. You want to know who you received it from, the organization. Pretty much, you can detail them as well because that shows credibility. Like if you get an award if you work in the car industry and you get an award from GM Motors or something, now this employee wants to know, like, this must be an upstanding person if they got this GM award, whatever the award is. It can be in the therapy field. You got one from the APA or something, just trying to make it relatable so you'll understand. Next, after your award section, you want to definitely do your publications and presentations. So again, if you've been in the field like me and so many others, you've been doing different presentations, whether it's for nonprofits or Fortune 500 organizations or just local county and state organizations. I've been fortunate enough to speak international now, 2 different settings. And this year alone is going to be another international trip. So, of course, I want to put those presentations on there, too. The publications, of course, the full, if you did publications like in research for specific organizations, you want to put those things too. The date, the co-authors, the summary, the volume, the paid information, the DOI number so they can find it, the presentation and the title, provide the date, the venue. And I also did a TED Talk a year or so ago. So, that will go under there. And then you want to do your professional associations. Of course, you're probably in a couple associations or sit on different nonprofit boards. Those things are important as well because you're showing that you want to do more than just be an employee, So list the organization name, the location of the chapter, and the dates of active membership. So whether that's fraternity, whether that's, again, I'm a part of ACA, American Cancer Association. I'm a part of VCA, which is Virginia Cancer Association. I'm a part of RACA, which is Richmond Area Cancer Association. I sat on the board at NAMI, CVA, so many other boards and stuff I'm not active in, but those ones I just named is pretty much the active ones because I'm in this field now. But as far as volunteering and stuff like that, I still do that with different organizations. So after that section, you want to make sure that you include grants and scholarships. So I have a nonprofit, but I also help other nonprofits secure funding and do so many other things. So you want to provide the name of the grant or the scholarship and the date it was awarded to the institution or to the organization because that shows that you put in work as well. And again, this is like a little blurb opposed to the resume where it's just one page. So the little blurb on the different grants. So if you got 5 grants within the last 10 years, even if it was $1,000 each, that's still a lot of money for that particular organization. So again, it shows that you're working diligently and not just an employee. After that, so lastly, I think you should list your license and your certifications because that's important. So include the name of your license, certification date, where you earned it, and a blurb about that too. So I'm licensed in the state of Virginia as a LPC, so licensed professional counselor. So I will wrote a little blurb detailing what an LPC is and who gave me the license, and then I put my license number on there so people can check if it's active. So that's it for the CV versus the resume. If you got any questions, hit me up. But hopefully this was helpful, because a lot of people now are more professional than they were, or I ain't gonna say more professional. I would say they're probably doing more work than they did and was learned to just have that one-page resume. Nah, make that thing a little bit more extensive. Put everything you need to on there. Brag about yourself. So hit me up, mentoheal.com, www.mentoheal.com.